let's do some questions in the describing events question set. So we have here 25 gems that have 3 different cuts, so triangles, rectangles, and octagons. And there's 3 colors: amethysts, emeralds, and rubies. So the first question asks how many are triangular or amethyst but not both. Now the way I like to approach a problem like this is I like to show visually my counting. So I would draw a picture, or if it's on a computer, you can print screen and copy and paste it. And what we're going to do is we're going to systematically go through this so we try not to miscount anything. So how many are triangles or amethysts? What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a marker or a pen, and I'm going to tick if it's triangular or if it's amethyst. Now, if it's a triangular amethyst, I'm going to have 2 ticks. So this one here is a triangle, so awesome. This is a triangle. This is neither. This is both a triangle and it's an amethyst. This one here is an amethyst. This one here is a triangle. This one here is a triangle and an amethyst, so it gets 2 ticks. This is an amethyst. This is a triangle. This is a triangle. This one's an amethyst. This one's an amethyst. One's an amethyst. This is an amethyst and a triangle. This is a triangle. This one's a triangle. Now you can see here, I have purposefully marked each one so that I know which ones I've counted and which ones I haven't. So I can then quickly see if there's any mistakes. Now, this question asks for, are they triangular or amethyst but not both? Now, this tick process works really well because if they are both, they will have 2 ticks. So we know that this one does not count because it has 2 ticks. This one does not count because it has 2 ticks. And this one does not count because it has 2 ticks. So let's just scribble out those 2 ticks so we don't accidentally count them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So all up, we have 13 triangular or amethysts, but not both. Now let's quickly get rid of all of these marks so we can do the second question. So the next question asks is how many are neither emeralds nor rectangles? So we don't want emeralds and we don't want rectangles. So in this case, because we don't want them, I'm going to cross them out. So this is a rectangle. This is a rectangle. This is a rectangle. And then we don't want emeralds. So there's 2 green ones. And we miss this one in the middle. And again, this is why I'm crossing through things systematically. So now we can see that there is 10 that we don't want. So now there is just 1, 2, 3, 4. So there is 15 gems that are neither emerald nor rectangular. They're not emeralds and they're not rectangles. So this is how to approach a question like this. As I said, it's really easy with a computer because you can just use print screen and copy it over. But if you were doing this question in your book, I would recommend drawing it, even if you just drew it like triangle with a red pen, and then you draw another triangle with a red pen, and then a rectangle. So it doesn't have to have the same detail. Let's have a look at the next question. But this question here, it says, consider the following event. A 6-sided dice is rolled, and the result is an odd number. And event number 2, a 6-sided die is rolled, and the result is a 2. The question is this mutually exclusive? Now, what is mutually exclusive? Mutually exclusive means that it cannot happen at the same time. So, if I was to roll a dice, so event number 1, event 1, is we roll an odd number. So how many odd numbers are there on a 6-sided dice? There's 1, 3, 5. And event number 2 is rolling a 2. Now the first thing we need to ask is, can these happen at the same time? Well, no, they can't. So they can't happen at the same time. So that means that they are mutually exclusive. So mutually exclusive means that only one can happen at any given moment. You roll a dice, you get a 2. You roll the dice, you get a 5. They can't happen at the same time. So they are mutually exclusive because only one can happen at once. Now, are they complementary? Now, a complementary is when both of these things highlight every single possible answer. And they are also mutually exclusive. So these are mutually exclusive. So that's good. However, there is some numbers that we don't have. We don't have the numbers 4 and 6. So these two events do not highlight every single possible outcome. So therefore, it's not complementary. Let's do another one. Alright, so this one here, we have 3 events. We're going to have 3 different columns, and we're going to have to compare each with another column. So, event number 1, event number 2, and event number 3. So event number 1 is a factor of 12. Now, a factor of 12 is any of the times tables that make 12 that fit on a 6-sided dice. So we have 1 because 1 times 12. We have 2 because 2 times 6. We have 3 because 3 times 4. We also have 6 because 6 times 2. So no 5 there. Event number 2 is the result is a 1. So 1. And the result is 5 or more. So this would be 5 or 6. Now, question 1 asks, is event number 1 and number 2 mutually exclusive? Well, can they happen at the same time? Yes, they can, because there's a 1 here and a 1 here. So, because they can happen at the same time, they're not mutually exclusive. So 1 and 2 are not mutually exclusive. So can event 1 and 3 happen at the same time? Well, they can because there's a 6 and a 6. So they can happen at the same time, so they're not mutually exclusive. So 1 and 3 are not mutually exclusive. What about event 2 and 3? Are they mutually exclusive? Can they happen at the same time? Well, they can't happen at the same time, so they are mutually exclusive. So 2 and 3 are. Right? So ask yourself, can they happen at the same time? If yes, then no, it's not. If they can't happen at the same time, then yes, they are. Now, is there a pair of complementary events? So 1 and 2, they're not mutually exclusive, so therefore they're not complementary events. 1 and 3 are also not complementary mutually exclusive events, and therefore they're not complementary events because it has to be mutually exclusive. 2 and 3, they are mutually exclusive, however, they are not encompassing every outcome. We're missing numbers. We're missing 2, 3, and 4. So none of these are complementary. These two pairs are mutually exclusive. So none of these pairs are complementary, and only one pair is mutually exclusive. Have a look at another example. Let's do another one. Make a new page. Alright, so a 6-sided dice is rolled, and we get more than a 3. So we want more than 3, so we want 4, 5, and 6. The result is a 5, and the result is a factor of 6. So we want 1, 2, 3, and 6. Now, is event 1 and 2 mutually exclusive? Well, no, because they can happen at the same time. What about 1 and 3? Are they mutually exclusive? Well, they can happen at the same time because they both have a 6. So then they are not mutually exclusive. And what about 2 and 3? Are they mutually exclusive? Well, they are because they have different numbers. Now, which ones are complementary? Are there any complementary? Well, we said before that 1 and 2 are not mutually exclusive, so therefore they're not complementary. The only pair that was mutually exclusive was 2 and 3. However, we're still missing a 4. So they're not complementary because they don't have every single number that you can get on a 6-sided dice. Hope this helps, and good luck with the rest of the questions.